Well, greetings and salutations, folks, from the American heartland. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty coming to you from an undisclosed location, under the radar, but always over the top. Glad to have you here on the Christian Whistleblower channel. We are definitely under the radar, but always definitely over the top as well. Today, no different. Going to be diving into a very important subject, I believe, and a subject that many times is a little uncomfortable, a little giggly, and it's just I don't understand where we are, and I do understand, and it's really a curse, it's really an attack. But we're going to talk about today why some of the most powerful human drives are the most powerful human drives. Great to see everyone in the chat room, old friends, new friends. Dory Grace is here, Harry's here. Snowflake is here. She said it's here. Shawnee's Tarot's here. You can check out Shawnee's channel. She does tarot. Jeffrey Daugherty's here. Great to see that. Lori Elderkin, Charity Bryan. Two can do the impossible. I like that. Snowflake. Lori Duran. Of course, the ever-present Tracy Dyer's here. Roots and Branch Homestead. Jess Roth. TT, Cynthia L, Cassiopeia, Angel, Darth, Renaissance Woman, nice to see you. Girl with No Name Spooner, nice to see you. KC, hi from SoCal. Elizabeth's here. And I don't know how many of you I'm going to see at LeakCon, but while you're there, if you're there, please stop by and say hello to me. You'll see me at the Miss Tech, the Rod, the Christian Whistleblower channel. I think we'll have a big stand-up of plastic Jesus behind us. We'll be easily identified. Chase Carrington, she said it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know just enough about anthropology to be dangerous. I have a couple, an associate degree with an emphasis in geography and anthropology. And so I've studied it from a scholarly, a scholastic point of view, and also from a spiritual point of view. Hello, Lori Duran. And I am convinced from both the empirical knowledge and the spiritual knowledge that I've garnered, same thing, over the past 39 years or so. I don't know if tickets are still available. Go to leakcon.com or Ask Rex. No, we're not going to talk about that, Roots and Branch. And I'm convinced we're a created people. We are a created species. I don't believe that we came about by chance. I don't believe that we came about just by some electrons bumping together in the primordial stew. I believe that we are a created being. We are a created race. And I also believe, from my studies, both empirically, objectively, and from a spiritual point of view, I actually believe that we are a created people that was created by divine beings. And we were created by divine beings that were at least initially benevolently minded towards us. Now, some of them may have changed their mind over time, but I would have to say, from all the evidence that I've looked at, all the evidence that I've pondered through, that we are a created people. We were created by divine beings that were benevolent to us, at least initially. And these beings created us with a very, very strong sex drive. These beings created us with a very, very strong sex drive. And my question is, why? Why? Now, the Christian myth says that we were created in the very nature of the gods. In fact, let's take a look at that from the Old Testament scriptures. Genesis 1:26 and 27. Let's look at that. And I did call it the Christian myth. That doesn't necessarily mean that I don't believe it. It just means that I don't necessarily believe it either. It is mythic, epic literature, just like all the other mythic, epic literature from many different places and times. And I hate to make you mad, but the Christian epic literature has borrowed heavily, that's a nice way to say stolen or plagiarized, from the epics that went before it. So the Christian creation mythos talks about gods and goddesses, male and female. The word's Elohim. I don't care what you think about that word. I don't care what your feelings are about that word, because the word is a word and the word means things, just like this is an onion. You can say whatever you want about it, you can feel however you want about it, but it's still an onion. And the word onion means something. It means this thing right here. This is a crystal. However you feel about it, what you think about it, it's still a crystal. It just means what it means. So Elohim means gods and goddesses, more than one, multiple, plural. So if we are to believe the Christian myth and many other myths upon which it's based, we were created by gods and goddesses. They were male and female, and there was more than one of them. And it says that we were created in their image, ladies and gentlemen. We were created in their likeness. And this word, in their image, is 6754. It's Salim. And it means after their likeness. It means after their phantom or their spiritual nature. Let me show it to you real quick so you can see it. You know, I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes, because I know not a lot of people will do this and show you what they're actually looking at. But here's the word 6754, Salim, or Salem. And it means after the form, image, likeness, images, phantom. It means that we are actually made after the stuff that they're made of. We're actually made of the stuff that they're made of. So in their image, it's used there twice. We were created in the image, in the phantom-like nature, whatever that mysterious, unnameable, phantom-like stuff is that makes up the gods. We're also created with that same stuff. At least that's what the text says. It depends on how much faith and veracity you put in the text. I'm a text guy. I'm not trying to say I know it all, but I'm just trying to say I know what the text says, and I can share with you what the text says, and you can go from there. So we were created with the same material nature and essence of the gods. We were created just like gods. And if you had to say there's one act that makes a god, what's the one thing a god can do that makes it a god? What's the one thing a goddess can do that makes her a goddess? Ponder it for a minute. Let's see if anybody in the chat room says something. TikTok, you're not far from the answer. What's the one thing a god can do? There you go, Tracy. There you go, Darth. There you go, T-Cat. There you go, Jess Roth. There you go, Joyce. Create. The thing I would submit to you that the thing that makes a god is that he can create. The thing that makes a goddess is that she can create. So I would say the greatest divine act is the act of creation. And the greatest divine power is the act of love. Love, creation and love is the most powerful thing available to the gods. And if it's the most powerful thing available to the gods, it's the most powerful thing available to those of us that share their very nature. Are we created with this powerful sex drive to be powerful creators in love like the gods? What's he reading from? I'm reading from my notes. Were we given this powerful sex drive to be powerful creators in love? Now, this is interesting. Something caught my eye in the chat room. I think the gods didn't have the passion we possess. Joyce, why would you say that? Why would you say that? I think that the gods probably had more passion than we possess. And how can we possess it if it wasn't of the gods and we're made in their image? Joyce, is it possible that you have that feeling because you've been taught collectively and culturally for 2,000 years that sex is bad, sex is wrong, sex is dirty? You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't think about that. You shouldn't go there and make you grow hair on your palms. Do you think that's possible? Because I think that if the gods didn't have the passion, where'd we get it from if they created us? And I would submit to you that the gods have even greater passion than we have because they've been able to do greater things. So anyway, just something to think about. Now, sexual love is a powerful creative force. Sexual love is a powerful creative force. In Cassiopeia, and this, I shouldn't be looking over here, but Cassiopeia says, sex with intention will produce. Every time I've tried to make a baby, boom. Well, guess what? Sexual activity produces something every time. Sexual activity creates something every time. Unfortunately, most of the sexual activity that's being performed by humans on Earth right now is producing things that are detrimental. That's why we're living in moral, toxic sludge up to here, because there's so much creating going on, whole lot of creating going on, whole lot of manifesting going on, but it's not creating or manifesting things that are to our betterment. And that's why we're here having this talk tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because our love, creative love, has been derailed by creative lust. Creative love is it has been derailed by creative lust. Mixing it with others is magic. Ooh, Kayema, you're on the right path. I like it. Creative love produces great, loving, beautiful things. Creative lust produces things that are not so. Creative love produces things that are balanced, powerful, contributory towards a beautiful world. Creative lust produces things that are selfish, service to self, not caring about another world or this world. So creative love, service to others, beautiful, powerful, creative. Creative lust, just as powerfully creative, but in a oppositely negative fashion. Abrahamic religions, ladies and gentlemen. Abrahamic religions, ladies and gentlemen. And let's stay out of the fear porn, or you won't be able to hang around. One thing I don't allow here is fear. And I don't allow people trying to churn up fear. Abrahamic religion, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, has intentionally and systematically warped our minds and our bodies from love to lust. From love to lust. God is love. The gods that created us, the goddesses that created us are love. Love, ladies and gentlemen. But watch out. Pull in your toes. I'm ready to stomp on them. God is love. But the being, the entity that most of you identify as Jesus, the entity that most of you identify as the Father, God is love, but mostly the entity Jesus, plastic Jesus, and the plastic Father, they only deal with lust. What did plastic Jesus tell you? If you even look at a girl, and I would assume it goes the other way, if you even look at a guy, you're going to commit adultery. If you look at a guy or a girl with desire, you're going to commit adultery. Somewhere else, plastic Jesus tells you that adultery sends you to hell. That is Wayne calls it a mind coitus. Let's say it's a full body coitus. They coitused us from the top of our head to the crown of our head to the tip of our toes. Looking at a person of the opposite sex with desire is not lust. Looking at a being of the opposite sex with desire is not lust. It can be if you don't control it. And if you do look at a being of the opposite sex with lust, we're not going to talk about looking at beings of the same sex right now, but if you do look at a being of the opposite sex with lust, you are going to create things that we'll just say are dark or unbalanced. However, looking at a being of the opposite sex with desire, let me ask you something. Can we just talk for a minute? The gods made us, and they made us male and female. Why do you think they made us male and female? Because generally speaking, when a male looks at a female, he's like, ooh, she looks good. When a female looks at a male, every now and then she'll say, ooh, he looks good. If they didn't want us looking at each other thinking, oh, they look good, they would not have made us male and female. They would have made us all the same. They would have made us androgynous. They would have made us hermaphroditical so we could have a sex with ourselves and have babies with ourselves, be mama and daddy. They didn't do that. Why? Seems like they wanted us. They wanted the males to be attracted to the females. They wanted the females to be attracted to the males. And they wanted us to know that love is the greatest creative power. So when you're created men, when you're attracted to a woman in a loving, powerful fashion, very creative of positivity, creative of things that are good and powerful and building, things that are service to others. Man, when you're desiring feelings that are lustful, just what you want to do to her, no bueno. You're not going to create anything good for you. You're not going to create anything good for her. You're not going to create anything good for us. But when you look at her with a creative urge that says, she's beautiful, she looks pretty, she's gorgeous, wow, girls are pretty, that's not going to send you to hell. That's not adultery. There is no hell in the first place. But that can be a creative force. That can be a motivational force. If you see, here we are, dude sees a girl. Wow, she is hot. I love to date her, but she doesn't look back at you. So tomorrow you dress a little better. You do some sit-ups. You do some push-ups. You're doing some push-ups. You got a little pump in your biceps and your triceps, your chest. And you say hi to her again, and she kind of looks, and then you're pumping those push-ups out. You're doing those sit-ups. You're watching what you eat. You get a haircut. You got your face all washed. You shaved. It's motivating positive change in you. Now, I'm being silly, but you see the point that I'm getting to. So Abrahamic religions have intentionally, systematically warped our minds and our bodies from love to lust. The gods are pure love, but these religious gods, and specifically since we're talking to people that are mostly Christian or familiar with Christianity, plastic Jesus, plastic Father, all they want to do is focus you on lust. Think about the lust. Think about the bad. Think about, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Paul says, don't even get married. It's better for you but if you have to marry, because it's better to marry than to burn. The bottom line assumption in Christianity is that you're a lust bucket. The bottom line assumption in Judaism, you're lusty. The bottom line assumption in Islam, you're lusty. Why does the God in the Bible, why does the God of Abraham, the Abrahamic God, why does that God and that Christ assume the worst of you? They assume the worst of you because they're scared to death of the best of you. They assume the worst of you because they're scared to death of the best of you. They have to keep you focused on the worst of you because the second you discover the best of you, gigs up, game's over for them. They're done. Entity Christ, entity Father, finished, done, game over. And we're getting close. We're getting close. They say that lust is the rule and love is the exception. Tracy, Paul said it. It's in the book that women are so lustful that they would have sex with any and every angel if it wasn't for the man protecting them. Paul said it, not me. Abrahamic religion, the Father, the Christ, want you to believe that lust is the rule and love is the exception. I say nay. Ooh, TCAT 4. Abrahamic religion has an unhealthy obsession with our genitals and our wallets. I'll drink to that. That's great. That is great. I say no. I say that for those that are divine, those that are sovereign, those that are free, those that are mindful, those that are woke, those that are our original intention, love is the exception, love is the rule, lust is the exception. And if it's not in your life, you can change it. I say that our divinity will outlast their religion. That's what I say. I say that our divinity will outlast their religion. Sure, we've been pounded and hounded and grounded for 2,000 years with how lust is the rule and love is the exception. We've been taught about how bad we are and how filthy we are and how dirty we are and how wrong and bad human sexuality is. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take some adjustment. And it's going to be baby steps for us to get back to realize the creative love power that is our greatest power given to us by the greatest powers there are, the divine. And not only do I believe that our divinity will outlast their religion, or why I believe it, why I believe that they say lust is the rule, but love is the exception, but they're dead wrong. Love is the rule, lust is the exception. I believe it because they admitted it. That's right. They admitted it, and I'm going to show you where they admitted it. They admitted it in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Remember, the endearing value of the Bible, the enduring, and I guess it's endearing too, but the enduring power, the great worth of the Bible right now is the fact that it contains the plans of the enemy for our demise. The great value of the Bible is in the fact that it contains the plans and purposes of the enemy. Beyond that, after 39 years of studying, after 100,000 hours of studying it, and let's face it, folks, I forgot more about it than most of you know. That's just a fact. I know it sounds arrogant and egotistical, but it is what it is. And after 39 years of being through it, read it probably 200 times, 100,000 hours plus, there's not much value in it. There's almost no value in it. There's a diamond here, there's a diamond there, but you got to spend too much time waiting in dung to hope that you find a diamond. And most of you will choke and die and drown in dung before you ever find a diamond. That's just my opinion. But it's a great read because it's the enemy's battle plans, and we can look through it from that perspective. Oh, that's what they're trying to do. And then we can see a diamond now and then. Oh, I'll take that. So 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse number 8. I didn't even look at the numbers. We probably just lost half the audience. That's okay. 1 Corinthians, verse number 8. I don't remember what this says, to be honest with you. I wrote this last night. What does it say? Oh, you'll remember this. It's the love chapter. 1 Corinthians 13, 8. Here we go. Love never fails. What did I just say? Love is the greatest power. Love is our greatest power. Love is the greatest power of the divine that created us. And our divinity, our love, will outlast their religion because love never fails. And let's look at that word never. Love never fails. What does never mean? It means never. It means never, never, nothing, ever. Love never, ever, 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 never fails. Love never fails. What does fails mean? Love never falls under condemnation. Love never falls prostrate by somebody else because it got knocked out. Love will never be defeated is what that says. But where there's prophecies, what is prophecy? It's religious. It's a religious thing, isn't it? Well, prophecy means to foretell. No, prophecy means to foretell. No, prophecy means when you speak in a tongue and somebody interprets it. Religious people got a lot of definitions for prophecy, but guess what? It's religious. And what will it do? Boop. It will be abolished. It will be rendered inoperative. So someday, those of you that are dependent upon a Bible, a Quran, a Talmud, those of you that are dependent upon a religion, a pastor, a priest, a guru, you're in trouble. Because one of these days, prophecies, religious stuff, is going to fail. Tongues. What are tongues? This is Paul. He's talking about praying in another language. He's talking about archonic possession, that if you do it, it's going to give you archon viruses. I did it for 20 years. I taught people how to do it. I can get you baptized in the Holy Ghost, speaking in other tongues, 5 minutes tops. Boom, every time. I got a lot of people into archon viruses. It's demon possession is what it is. Possession by unbalanced entities. Don't do it. But thank God's, they'll be restrained. It's going to be restrained. What does that mean? Restrained. It's going to be hindered. It's going to be made to cease. It's bad times for religious people. Prophecies, religious, they're going to end. Tongues, religious, they're going to be brought to an end. They're going to be made to cease. And where there's knowledge, even what's knowledge? Knowledge. Knowing knowledge. Actually, it's a callback to Paul talking about gifts of the word of knowledge, which is something that it's basically Christian fortune telling. And even that will be dismissed, done away with. Because even you religious people that think you all got it figured out, you have no ideas. Even your prophecy is only in part. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And neither does the God that's giving you the prophecy. He's guessing like you are. But when perfection comes, what did the central figure of the Christ myth say? Here's a diamond for you. What is perfection? What is perfection of the law? What's perfection? What is it? What is said? The whole system hangs on. Love yourself, love your neighbor. That's perfect. And when love, verse 8, back up to verse 8, when love comes, love your neighbor. Love yourself. The partial, the stupid, idiotic religion, it passes away. Gone. Gone. When we were children, before we grew up, before we woke up, we talked like child. The Bible says, my pastor says, the Christ says, the Father says, the Essenes say, the Missines say, these guys say, those guys say. We talked like children. We thought like children. Well, if my pastor said it, if Jimmy Swaggart said it, if this guru, that YouTuber, this YouTuber, if they said it, I believe it. If you will believe something just because it comes out of somebody's mouth, you got a problem. If there's somebody that you'll believe everything they say, you're childlike and need to grow up. It's written. If there's an organization that says something and you'll believe it, you're childlike and need to grow up. You need a spanking is what you need, and that's what I'm here for today, is to spank you. Spank you real good. When I was childish, religious, I talked like a child. I know it all. I'm the messenger. I'm the one. I'm the prophet. I got all the, here it is. I'll tell you what. I thought like a child. Oh, I am so holy. I am so righteous. I have come to bring the nectar of knowledge to all of the humans. I am here. I am here to dispense knowledge to you all. I have come. And when I grew up and realized how stupid I was, I set aside these childish things. I don't care if somebody that says they're Jesus shows up right here, right now, standing on that onion and tells me something. Sorry, bro. I ain't buying what you're selling. I ain't buying what you're selling. I've set aside the childish ways. I don't believe what somebody else tells me. I don't do what somebody else tells me. I don't give any person breathing air carte blanche. And some of you get mad at me. Some of my friends get mad at me. Well, you got any proof on that? How many times have you heard me ask Wayne, well, Wayne, where's the data? And you see Wayne get, well, I said it, Jeff. Well, I know you did, bro, but I need some data. Jay, get mad at me. What do you mean? I need some data, bro. It's just the way it is. Because even now, we have just a dim reflection of what's going on. Because see, when you become a man, you realize, and I hate to say this word, but Scotty says it so eloquently, the more shit I know, the more I realize I don't know shit. That's what this means right here. Because I used to think I knew it all. I used to think that this pastor or this preacher or that this YouTuber knew it all, and I could just listen to them and everything's going to be fine. But when I grew up, I realized that, bruh, we don't get it. The more we know, the more we don't know that we don't know. The more we get it, the more we realize, man, we got a lot more to get. We're just seeing a dim reflection. But as we continue to go, we're going to see face to face. We're going to get it. We're going to know it. We're going to understand it. Now we just know little bits. One of these days, when we get our work done, we're going to know it all. But not today. And probably not tomorrow. And at the end of the day, it's going to be so simple because we're worried about this and that, and we're discussing this, and we're debating that. That's why I get so mad. 3 days of darkness, rapture, Antichrist, tribulation, vials, trumps. What else are we talking about? Messages of prophecy. Horrible things are coming. Pole shifts and Planet X and spiders falling from the sky, and you better get ready. Times are going to get rough. I'm sorry. I don't feel that. I don't hear that. I don't see that. But one thing I know is that at the end of all this debate and all this worry and all of this conjecture, what we're going to find out is that love was always the greatest. So after all the religion said and done, love will still be the greatest. Love will still be the best. Love will still be on top. And those of us that learn to walk and create in love, that learn how to walk and create in love and not in lust, we don't care anymore. I don't care if Planet X crashes into the flat earth and causes a pole shift during a solar flare and hollow earth collapses and we all die from swamp gas from Uranus. I don't care. Because love is still the greatest. Love is still great. It's still large and in charge. It's still great in the widest sense. In the widest sense. Wow. I don't know about you. Well, that's some pretty good stuff right there. Humanity's greatest work is one of love. And let me really blow your mind here. Humanity's greatest work is love. The one enduring work that will last beyond, all the religious work and all the religious speculation, it's gonna go down in flames. It's not necessarily in flames. It's not going to work. It's going to die. We saw it. All of humanity's religion and all of the bickering and all of the back and forth, it ain't going nowhere. All of these YouTube channels debating this, debating that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But in the end, love is all that matters. And if love is, I forgot what I wrote. Got all impassioned. I wrote, oh yeah, if humanity's greatest work is one of love, and the central figure of the Christ myth, the anointing, And I believe the anointing, and the diamond says, God is love. And he said, she said, they said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's the greatest thing of all. That will last forever and ever. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. What is implicit within that statement? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Well, you can't love your neighbor unless you first love yourself. So the first rule is love yourself. Let me say that again. The first rule, the first duh of our reality is love yourself. You're created as a spiritual being in the image of the gods and goddesses who are creators, and they give you a very strong, passionate desire. And they said, oh, watch this. I got to show you this. This just dropped on me live and in person. This is some heavy revy. Some of you say you love it when you see the revelation come in real time. Watch this. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. I love it when the divine drops something on me and it shows I'm on the right track. Oh, watch this. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Live revelation, free of charge, here on the Christian Whistleblower broadcast today, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. Let me find it. Ooh, yeah, it's here. Watch this. Watch this. So, the gods and goddesses said, let's make some fools in our image, some people in our image. Let's make them after our likeness. They look like us. They think like us. They're spiritual like us. They can manifest physically like us. They got all the drives, desires, and powers we got. Let's let them be just like us. And then watch this. So the gods and goddesses created man in their own image. In the image of God created they them. Unless you forget, male and female created they them. And watch this. They created a male. They created a female. Why? Because they would lust after one another and know they were sinful and know they needed to come to our church and get saved to avoid our hell. He made them male and female so they would know they're sinners so I could save them from the sin I gave them and I can make lots of money because I'm interested in genitals and wallets because I'm the God of the Bible. I like genitals and I like wallets. I like wallets and genitals. I like genitals on wallets. I'm all about the genitals and the wallets. I don't remember who said that, but that's beautiful. It's perfect. It's exactly right. The God of the Bible, plastic Jesus, plastic Father, they are plastic Christ. They're all about the genitals and the wallets. Why? Because when you figure out how to work those genitals and those wallets, we cannot be defeated. Watch this. Where was I before I started talking about genitals and wallets? It's like boats and hoes, genitals and wallets. So, male and female. And what did he say? He said what I say at the end of every broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. I don't say it anymore. I need to start saying it again. The gods and goddesses said, we've made you male and female. Get busy. That's what they said. They said, go, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. They said, we've made you male and we made you female and we made you attractive one to the other because guess what? We want y'all to get busy. We want you to be fruitful. We want you to multiply. We want you to fill up the earth. We want you to bring the earth to its fullest potential. We want y'all to get busy. What is this telling me? This is telling me that we were made with this strong sex drive. We were made to think each other is looking good. Men were made to say, girl, you look good. Girls were made to say, man, you look good. And the reason why you look good, I look good, let's get busy. Let's be fruitful. Let's multiply. Let's fill up this earth to its potential. And am I showing you this good? Don't you know it ain't just have babies? Dude, having babies is the least part of being fruitful. Having babies is the least part of multiplying. Having babies is the least part of bringing the earth to its potential. Be fruitful, multiply, manifest every single damn day towards manifesting the earth as it should be. This is why the God of the Bible, the one that's interested in genitals and wallets, wants you to think that sex is bad, wants you to think that sex is dirty, wants you to think that sex is ugly, wants you to think that sex is low. Because he don't want you to know, cousin. Because once you, male and female, girl, you look good. Man, you look good. Let's do some multiplying. Let's do some replenishing. Let's be fruitful. Let's manifest some stuff for this world. Let's multiply some stuff for this world. And once you are fruitful for this earth, fruitful in service to others, and a little fruitful in service to self, you can't do nothing. If you can't go nowhere if your bags are empty. You got to have something to take with you. You got to have something to give. Be fruitful to yourself. Be fruitful to others. Do some service to self so you can do service to others. Multiply for yourself so you can multiply for others. And that's how the earth gets filled up to its potential. Boom. But let me leave you with this. That wasn't the mind-blowing thing. This is. Love your neighbor as you love yourself means you have to first love yourself. The first part in really waking up, the first part in making a difference in your life, the first part in making a difference in others' lives, the first part in making a difference in the world is you learning how to love yourself. You learning how to run your junk. You learning how to run this incredibly strong sexual drive that's been given to you. Love yourself. I'll let you think of the implications on your own. That's step number one, cousin. Learning how to turn the lust, that transmute lust into love. Transmute porno into pure passion. Transmute lust into love. I can't say any better than that. And I didn't say it. Those are the great messages of the anointing. Love your neighbor as yourself. And there's nothing more powerful than love. If this mic wasn't so expensive and so sensitive, I would drop it big time. Because that was a boom, shakalaka, boom. All right. And the original, Nikki the Beat says, as you love yourself. I'm just saying. Ponder that, ladies and gentlemen. Ponder that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Ask yourself questions. Question answers, even in your own answers. Guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. Be your own guru. Grow up out of religion. Grow up out of religion. Grow up out of rules. Grow up out of regulations. Grow up about listening to somebody. Grow up about, well, I got to ask them what they think about this. Grow up to where, what did he or she say about that? Grow up out of, well, let me check with this or that channel. Grow up out of that crap. You still asking your mama? You still asking your daddy? No. Then why are you still acting like a baby? You're not children anymore. Time to stop thinking like children. Time to stop acting like children. Time to grow up into a full man, a full woman. Focus on what is most important and get good at it. And don't worry about the rest of this stuff. We're the last generation of real humans. We got to learn how to be real humans. If we're the last generation of real humans, let's make sure that we maximize this human thing. If we're the last generation of real humans, and I think we are, we need to get busy maximizing our humanity. Maximizing it, ladies and gentlemen. It's like eating ribs. If you ain't got it all over your face, you're doing it wrong. You need to get in there. Get in there. Maximize. Get busy. We're the last generation of real humans. And if we want to be the next generation of new gods, we need to say no to their I am, embrace the we are, divine, sovereign, free. And we do need, ladies and gentlemen, to get busy. And the way to start getting busy, simple, 2 words: unindoctrinate yourself. I don't think there's any more damage I can do today. We'll see you later.